In 2001, a wrestling company with millions of fans went completely bankrupt. And when it died, every single one of its wrestlers jumped to their biggest rival, WWE. Every star, except for this guy. For 13 years, the biggest star in WCW history, Sting, said no to the largest wrestling company on Earth. He was the last man standing. In this video, we're going to find out why he said no for so long, and how this one decision changed wrestling forever. To understand how insane this holdout was, you need to know that Sting was WCW. He wasn't just some random wrestler, he was the literal face of the company. From the moment he showed up in 1987, everyone knew Steve Borden was going to be a megastar. With his crazy face paint, spiked hair, and insane energy, Surfer Sting was the ultimate hero. He was the perfect good guy to fight the evil Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen. For years, he was WCW's #1 hero, defending the company's honor over and over again. But when the entire wrestling world changed and got darker with the New World Order in 1996, Sting did something nobody saw coming. He completely reinvented himself. He ditched the bright colors for a silent, dark character inspired by the movie The Crow. He would drop down from the ceiling, all in black and white, becoming this mysterious vigilante watching over the company. This wasn't just a small change, it was a legendary moment. Get this, for over a year, he didn't say a single word, and he became the most popular wrestler on the planet. It was crazy, and it proved he had an unbelievable connection with the fans. He was literally called the Franchise. For 14 years, he was the one thing you could always count on in WCW. While other huge stars left for more money, Sting stayed. He was the heart of the company, the guy who bled WCW colors. He was in the main event of the very last episode of WCW's show, Monday Nitro, against his greatest rival, Ric Flair. It was the perfect ending. So when WWE bought WCW, everyone thought it was a 100% guarantee he would follow. But Sting had a different plan. The end of WCW in March 2001 was a massive earthquake in wrestling. Vince McMahon had won the war. He got their entire video library and all their wrestlers. When Sting's giant contract finally expired in March 2002, he started talking with WWE. The fans went crazy thinking about dream matches. Sting versus The Undertaker. Sting versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. It seemed like he was guaranteed to be the biggest star on the biggest stage in the world. And Sting's answer was no. He turned down a multi-million-dollar deal. People thought he was crazy, but for Sting, it was simple. He did not trust them. He watched from home as WWE did its Invasion storyline, which was supposed to be this epic WCW versus WWE war. Instead, he watched WWE completely humiliate his friends on live television. The craziest example for him was what they did to Booker T, the WCW World Champion. When Booker T debuted, he came face to face with The Rock, and The Rock just looked at him and said, "Who in the blue hell are you?" For Sting, that one moment sent a clear message from WWE. The message was insane. You were a big deal in that other company, but here, you're literally a nobody. He felt that one line was enough to completely bury a star like Booker T, and he didn't trust that they wouldn't do the exact same thing to him. It wasn't just that one time. The entire Invasion story seemed like it was made to make WCW wrestlers look like they were second-rate. For Sting, who had given everything to build WCW into a huge company, watching them get treated like a joke was a massive deal-breaker. On top of that, Sting was worried about WWE's insane travel schedule and feared Vince McMahon would ruin the Crow character he had built. It all came down to one thing, a total lack of trust. He was the last soldier standing, and he refused to give up for a paycheck. So while everyone was wondering when he'd show up in WWE, Sting did the unthinkable. He joined this tiny new company called TNA. He only appeared a few times at first before signing a full-time contract in late 2005 for a huge return in 2006. For the next several years, while WWE was taking over the world, Sting became the foundation of its biggest competitor. A lot of fans said he was wasting his time, that he was missing out on millions of viewers and legendary WrestleMania matches. But what those fans didn't see is that in TNA, Sting got everything WWE wouldn't give him. He was the main event, he had creative control, and he got a lighter schedule that let him actually see his family. He wasn't just some old guy they brought back. He was a world champion multiple times and a massive leader in the locker room. He even reinvented himself again with a chaotic Joker character, something so risky it never would have been allowed in WWE. He became one of TNA's biggest stars, fighting a new generation of wrestlers and old enemies like Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, and Jeff Jarrett. His matches against Kurt Angle are remembered as some of the most amazing in TNA's history. He wasn't wasting his career, he was proving he could be a legend outside of the WWE machine. And he was the first person ever inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. But there was a downside. An entire generation of fans who only watched WWE missed out on him, and the dream match against The Undertaker never happened. For over a decade, fans argued, did Sting make a huge mistake? Fast forward to 2014, and everything was different. TNA was starting to have problems, and at 55 years old, Sting knew time was running out. It was literally now or never for Sting to join WWE. This time, the offer was different. It came from Triple H, who was part of the new management. They offered him creative input and, most importantly, a limited schedule. The chance to have one last epic run on the biggest stage of them all was just too much to pass up. The one thing he didn't have was a WrestleMania moment. After 13 years, the holdout was over. Sting was finally coming to WWE, and his debut was one of the most insane moments in wrestling history. I am not exaggerating. At Survivor Series 2014, when Team Cena was about to lose to The Authority, the lights went out. A crow sound played through the arena, and there he was. The man called Sting, making his WWE debut. The crowd went absolutely crazy. He walked into the ring, stared down the final boss Triple H, and hit his finishing move, changing everything. People had waited 13 years for this moment, and it was perfect. The stage was set for an unbelievable match at WrestleMania 31. Sting, the last hero of WCW, versus Triple H, the symbol of WWE. The match at WrestleMania 31 was supposed to be legendary, but then the unthinkable happened. The match turned into this bizarre, confusing mess. It became a throwback to the 90s when D-Generation X ran out to help Triple H, only for the NWO, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, to come out and, for some reason, help their old WCW enemy, Sting. And in the end, after Triple H used a sledgehammer, he pinned Sting. The final moment was WWE's boss standing tall over the fallen WCW legend. It was the exact thing Sting was worried about for 13 years. Later reports from people like former producer Road Dogg said the finish was booked that way because they had plans for Triple H to fight The Rock, a match that never even happened, which makes you wonder if they made the wrong guy win. And it gets worse. Just a few months later, his career was over. In a match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins, he suffered a crazy neck injury. He somehow finished the match, but the injury forced him to retire. At the 2016 WWE Hall of Fame ceremony, Sting officially announced his retirement. So after 13 years of waiting, he had just 2 big matches, and he lost both of them. The dream match against The Undertaker never happened. In a weird way, his terrible run proved his original decision was right. All his fears about how WWE would use him basically came true. So what do you think? Did Sting make a huge mistake waiting 13 years? Or was he right all along? Let me know what you think in the comments right now. And if you want more insane wrestling stories like this, smash that subscribe button. Sting's 13-year refusal wasn't just about a contract, it was a statement. He became a symbol for loyalty in a business that has none. His defiance tells the story of that whole era and proved he didn't need the biggest company in the world to be a legend. His WWE run might have been a complete letdown, but that doesn't change what he stood for. The story of Sting is the story of the last soldier of WCW, a man who chose his principles over an easy payday and, by doing that, created a legacy of loyalty that will last forever.